The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and we are here to talk about taxes and year-end planning. And if you got love letters or you're getting letters from New York State, this is the place to get free information. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. And normally I'm joined in studio with Tiffany and Christopher Fabian, but they went to the state championship, the semifinals for the New York State high school girls soccer team for Clarence, the Clarence Red Devils, and unfortunately the Clarence Red Devils didn't make it to the final round, so they were eliminated this afternoon. But we want to give all the kudos to those girls and their coach from Clarence, and what a great season they had. And Grace Fabian, she was the goalie, and they said she had ice in her veins, but I guess the ice didn't pay off this afternoon because I guess they lost 2-1. But in the meantime, I have a special guest here in studio. Her name is Abby Gwynn. She's the financial gal from the Financial Guys. And Abby, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Esther.
Oh, you're very welcome. I mean, so we're going to talk about, we got like 5 weeks, right? Let's see, 5 weeks until January. And so we wanted to talk about your pension. And Abby specifically is somebody that has expertise in pension and pension funding and pension distributions. And so here with 5 weeks left, we want to kind of do some last minute stuff that you can do to, number one, cut your tax bill. And if you want free information, this is the place to call, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. And in the meantime, while you guys are all thinking about your pension stuff, wanted to go over some of the proposals that, because obviously one of the major issues, there's not only just repealing and replacing Obamacare that Trump had promised, but he promised overhaul of the tax code. And I just wanted to go over that so everybody would have an idea of some of the things that he's been talking about. First of all, tax rates are now 10, 15, 25, 28, 33, 35, and 39.6%. Trump is proposing that there would be 3 tax rates, 12, 25, and 33. So that would simplify tax brackets. The other thing is, let's see, capital gains. Right now, you would pay 0% if you're in the 15% bracket or less. Trump didn't specify how he would change that, but I think what he's looking at is that same flat rate as in the code right now. The other thing is, let's see.
Now, I know Obama said that he wanted to increase the capital gains. Did that actually ever go through?
Well, Obama put the surcharge on. But
right.
it's and so that's one of the things that in this list of things that he proposed to be repealed.
Oh, he's going to get rid of that
for Trump, and obviously that's what they're saying.
Right. A lot of stuff to be.
Let's see. The other thing is the federal estate taxes. Now Clinton wanted to raise them. Trump proposes to eliminate them. Individual tax incentives, child tax incentives. Trump is proposing that daycare, the entire amount that you pay for daycare, if you have children in order for you to work that are in daycare, as a complete adjustment. Right now, it's a credit, like it runs 20 to 30%, but it's a credit limited to like $6,000 if you have 2 or more children. And so this would be a complete adjustment. So if you're paying $25,000 for daycare, that would be a big savings.
Oh my goodness.
And they're also talking about doing something like an HSA. So before the baby's born, you can actually set aside money and use it as an adjustment. So that's another thing they're talking about.
You could use pre-tax dollars then to pay for care for your child.
Exactly
wow.
Let's see what else.
I could see grandparents maybe wanting to
There you
contribute
go,
to
like
that.
529
Yeah,
plans.
just like another college savings plan.
Charitable giving, no changes in that. Mortgage interest deduction, no changes in that. Let's see.
Are they still doing the earned income?
Earned income credit for sure, but I
yeah.
don't know what they're going to do. There's nothing mentioned in here about that. And then the other thing is personal exemption phase out. If you're an upper income taxpayer, Trump is proposing that those phase out at a slower rate. Oh, and here's a big one. And for those of you that have corporations, he wants to make the maximum tax rate 15% on corporations,
Wow.
S corporations as well. So if you have an S corporation that would flow over to your individual return, and on your individual return you were at 28%, they would actually peel out that portion of the S corp and have that be at 15%, even on
Oh,
an
my
S corp.
goodness.
So that's another thing. So I just wanted to keep everybody abreast. And as soon as we know anything, obviously we will let you know, because that's what we do here on Ask the Tax Lady. In the meantime, we're here with Abby Gwynn, the financial gal from the Financial Guys. If they wanted to get a hold of you during the week, Abby, your phone number is 633-1515.
It is,
right?
yes. Yeah, you can call the office directly and just ask for me. And this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I actually specialize in the area with retirement income planning. And there's actually two designations that I've earned through my career. One is a certified advisor for senior living, which is very holistic planning, all the different areas that are involved with people when they're ready to retire, including their income.
That's really important because I meet a lot with seniors getting ready to retire, and they want to make sure that they have enough. And so that's part of what you do.
And not only that they have enough, but that they don't run out. That is usually one of the top three concerns with people, along with health care. And, I don't want to be too risky with my money.
Right.
That, and I also hold the retirement income certified professional designation, which also ties directly into what accounts do you have, what are your options for those accounts, and how are you accessing them to make sure that you're doing it to your best possible benefit.
That's great. All right. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to talk about elective deferrals. Do you know that if you could put in, for instance, $10,000, and you don't have to do it through your paycheck necessarily, before the end of the year, and you're in the 25% bracket, 8% New York State, you would save $3,300 in taxes just by moving money into your pension plan at work. So we want to talk about that. And Dave's been holding. Hey, Dave, how can we help you?
Yes, Esther, how are you?
I'm good.
How you doing today?
Yeah,
I'm great.
Thanks.
Listen, first of all, congratulations to all of us. Hopefully, all of this rhetoric comes into real fruition economically for the rest of us.
Well, I mean, with the House and Senate in your ball team, you would think that, all hands on deck, right? Like they should be able to do something.
Yeah.
If he can't do something, then there's something wrong.
Well, I got a feeling that the Republicans who are in power are just as bad as the other Democrats because they're just self-serving. However, having said that, they cannot stop the impetus of the reality of the lowering of the taxes and things of that nature. I think the exposure, the American people are a lot smarter than the media and everybody else.
That's for sure. And the thing is, if you got a half a brain, you can take a look at what's been happening with the electorate. They've been getting rid of all of these radicals. I mean, that's what's happened to the House and Senate. It's moved from being very radical. Everything's with the Tea Party people. It's been getting more and more conservative. But if you listen to the media, I was listening to CNN a couple days ago, and it's like they don't get it. It's like they're making an excuse for everything, and it sounds like they're going to do same old, same old.
They don't get anything, and we could go on and on and on. It doesn't make any sense to me why the media would actually even want to strengthen the position of such liberals, because of the fact that it's really the undoing of what allows them to be financially important.
That's true. You do. I wonder that too. I just wonder, why would anybody want to shoot themselves in the foot? But anyway, Dave, did you have a question?
Yes, I do, ma'am. And excuse me for going off on a tangent.
No problem.
So with Trump coming in, and I know it's not going to happen overnight, However, will this reduce the amount of taxes that come out of my paycheck and increase my net?
Well, it depends what bracket you're at right now.
I'm in a high tax bracket.
Okay, because he's talking about adjusting the tax brackets overall. And I think most of the people I deal with are somewhere in the 15 to 25% tax bracket. So he's proposing that the top bracket would only be 30%, whereas right now it's how high?
39.6.
So it could very well end up, if you don't actually go and adjust your withholdings through HR, then that's not actually going to change your take home. But at the end of the year, it could result in a better refund for you.
But the whole thing is, Dave, there's a lot of people that should change their W-4, because what happens is just because when the tax rates go down, you should adjust your W-4 so that they're taking less out of your paycheck. Because, like Abby's saying, if the rates go down and your withholding stays the same, what you do is you get a great big refund at the end of the year. But that's bad financial planning.
Why is that?
Well, because
they're borrowing your money all year for free.
And so what happens is, let's say you're getting a $15,000 refund.
Right.
You just made your budget during the year short $15,000 because you set your money into the Internal Revenue Service in state of New York, and you're going to sit around and wait for them to send it back. In the meantime, you might have had to use your charge cards in order to get your budget to work. And the reason that your budget didn't work is because you sent the money to the IRS.
Right.
So change your W-4. That's one of the things that we always recommend this time of year, especially with the holidays coming up. You want extra money for Christmas and for Christmas gifts, change your W-4 so that they're taking out less money if you're getting a large refund, and you can call EG Tax and we'll work it out for you so that you have the money to pay cash for a Christmas present, so you don't go into debt and you don't need that refund so early in the year, because I will tell you they're threatening to hold up refunds for some people past the middle of February or the beginning of March.
They don't have enough money, right.
Well, no, because of identity theft. They don't know.
Oh.
Right, so this way, if you are more tight to the vest in the amount that's going into to the Internal Revenue Service, you have better control of your finances during the year, number one. And number two, you don't sit around waiting for your refund.
Right.
For your situation, Dave, what might actually end up making a bigger impact is if he does end up make some changes on the healthcare side. I know a lot of people working or self-employed where that has hit their bottom line drastically. So you might end up seeing that as a bigger net adjustment to your income. And also, if you haven't already looked at it, if you're in a high income tax bracket, you should definitely be taking full advantage of any opportunity to save for retirement. That could lower your overall income and just allow you to defer that income to down the road when you're hopefully in a lower bracket. So if you're not already doing that, that's something that, you could either talk to Esther about or the financial guys. We do that all the time.
Okay, Dave?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your call. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side with your calls.
Attention real estate investors. Thinking of selling investment property? Pay no tax. Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation on how to pay no tax when selling investment property, call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com. That's 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hi, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
This is attorney Dennis Kitchen. Have you been injured? An accident can be a devastating experience, and afterwards an injury victim has questions. What are my rights? Can I be compensated for my injury? How does the no-fault law affect me? How do I deal with my insurance company or with the other party? It's important that you talk to a lawyer as soon as possible when an accident occurs. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
If you've been injured, call attorney Dennis Kitchen at 716-631-5661.
Hey, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. I have special guests with me, Abby Gwynn, the financial gal from the Financial Guys, and she is an expert on pension distribution, basically getting ready for retirement, where to take your money what to take first when you're getting ready to retire. And so if you want to call Abby, she's right here with me in studio, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. And we're going to go to the phones and we're going to talk about pensions too, but we're going to take the calls first. We're going to talk to Paul. Hey, Paul, how can we help you?
Hi, Esther. I have a question. I purchased an airplane in April of 2015, and right after that I got the airplane. My accountant told me I could actually put it on my New York State income tax, but I filled out an ST-141 form. Mm-hmm. I addressed a check to New York State sales tax for the amount of the sales tax. Mm-hmm. I sent it in to them. According to my bank statement, they cashed that check on June 22nd. And I just received a letter from them a little while ago saying that I didn't pay the sales tax in the record. I've mailed them all that paperwork. I mailed them a copy of that ST-141. I mailed them a copy of the check I wrote out. I mailed them a copy of my credit union statement showing they cashed the check. They're slow to drag their feet. I have pancreatic cancer, and I don't have long to live. I've already sold the airplane. And I've talked to many other people that purchased an airplane. I know if I had bought it this year, there's no more sales tax on airplanes. But I purchased it last year. I know there was sales tax. I didn't wait. I paid New York State. And now I had called a phone number. I got a call back once. I said, will you send me a letter saying I'm clear of this? Because I don't want this hanging over my wife's head when it's gone. Right. But I haven't heard a word back.
Well, look at Paul. If you have a problem, you can call our office. We will do a three-way with you and us and the state of New York. This happens all the time where a form is sent in and the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. I'm sure it'll get solved for you, so not to worry. By the way, the sales taxes are an itemized deduction on your Schedule A, so make sure you take that this year.
Oh, okay. And Esther, what's your office phone number?
632-7886. And you can ask for Tiffany, and she is our three-way call specialist. So she'll hook you up between New York State, and she'll help you to make sure that this is all taken care of for you, Paul.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you, Paul.
You too.
Bye-bye. No, that's terrible, you know. But it happens. I had just had a client the other day who had that same problem with the federal government. He got a bill from the federal government. We did an amended return because they were sort of right, but not completely right. He sent in the money. The check was cashed, and then they sent him a bill again.
I have seen more people in the last 12 months get letters from the IRS than ever. Have you noticed that?
Well, it's really
they're looking for money.
It's really interesting. Well, many times people, when they're doing their own returns, for instance, they do it incorrectly. And so that's kind of the nature of the beast. So if people do get letters, that's where we try to stand in the gap. I would say probably 50 to 60% of the letters are incorrect, totally or partially incorrect. And so that's why, we're an advocate, just like you're an advocate. right?
I have a friend who retired from the IRS. 40 years she was there as a career agent working on these cases. And she said when she left that they were basically cleaning house. They were eliminating so many people, but yet at the same time trying to ramp up collection revenue producing activities, but they were getting rid of people. So how are you going to
and that's
do more
the
with
problem.
less people?
And that's the problem. When you talk to the IRS, they say we're short-staffed.
Exactly.
And so, and here on the other side of the coin, they have the computer-generated letters, the CP2000 letters, and it's just computer-generated. So many times you don't have anyone to talk to on the right-hand side, and they're getting the bills on the left-hand side, and that's where you have to be doggedly determined. Just because they send a letter doesn't mean that they're correct, and you want to make sure that you follow up.
And that's such a scary thing to get a letter from the IRS where they say, you didn't do this, and you're like, no, I did, Let me send you everything.
And then on top of everything, we just got notice that the scammers are now coming out with false CP2000 letters. They know, the people that would call and say, "Hi, hello, you owe us money. We're the Internal Revenue Service. Are going to put you in jail." And they finally caught those scammers. Now they're doing CP2000 letters, and they get people to send them bills. So you got to be really wary when you're getting these bills from the Internal Revenue Service. Well, let's go back to the phones here, Abby. And I got Don in Derby. Hey, Don, how can we help you?
Yes. My daughter was up from Delaware, and she went to the doctors a couple of times, and she had this neat little account that she said her husband set up on the income tax that she paid her co-pays with. And is there such an account? I think I heard of it years ago, a medical account that you could put money in.
Right. So if you have a high deductible insurance plan that you're paying for, you can set up a health savings account, and you can take the money out of there to pay for qualified medical expenses, and it's not taxable if you use it for qualified medical expenses.
Okay, it's a health savings account.
Right.
And those are in conjunction with a group employer plan. That's typically a high deductible plan.
Right,
so
it has to be a high deductible plan.
If somebody doesn't have one of those plans, they can't just arbitrarily go set up an account.
No. You have to have a high deductible plan.
Yeah.
And
the wife and I are both retired, but we do have like a $12,000 out of or $13,000 this year out of pocket limitation.
Are you on Medicare?
No, we're on independent health.
All right, so you're not 65.
I'm 69.
You're 69. Aren't you on Medicare?
No, we were able to carry independent health over from our employer.
In retirement, they have. My dad has the same thing where he retired from GM, and they had a plan that was available, and he keeps that in conjunction with Medicare because you still have to have some.
But Don says
version.
he doesn't have Medicare.
Oh, but
you have some.
You have Medicare, right?
When we turned 65, we had to go.
Okay, so you do have Medicare.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you don't have a. All right, so if you have Medicare as your primary, then that would preclude you from doing the HSA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that really doesn't work when you're in retirement.
Right. And I really have to tell you, Don, have you looked at whether this is cost effective for you?
What do you mean?
In other words, well, and you know what? I'm getting close to the news. So can you hang on and we'll talk to you on the other side?
Sure can, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you on the other side. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady, with Abby Gwynn, the financial gal from the Financial Guys. We'll see you on the other side of the news. Thanks.
Often ask me or my coworkers about how their investments are going to impact their tax return, and we always would say consult your tax advisor. Well, I have great news.
This year, EG Tax will have one of our senior tax accountants, Dana Bobowitz, EA, who will work inside the Financial Guides office on Main Street in Williamsville.
Together, we will be able to meet all your financial needs in one appointment.
We just made it a lot easier for you to come join our family.
Call 633-1515. That's 633-1515 to make an appointment.
Investment advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC. Securities offered through Peak Brokerage Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management, LLC and the Financial Guys, LLC are not affiliates of Peak Brokerage Services. Offices located at 6631 Main Street, Williamsville.
Read the news online at WBEN.com.
Protests across the country again today. Many of them are being organized by groups that are angry Donald Trump won this week's election. But this man in Trump Tower says he's happy with the way things turned out.
It came down to that. All the social media justice stuff was cute, but it wasn't enough to get people off their ass.
He says Hillary Clinton lost the election because of her tax policies. Police have made well over 200 arrests, but they say the majority of the demonstrators have been peaceful. The Taliban says it was behind today's suicide bombing at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. At least 4 U.S. service members were killed. 16 were wounded. Prosecutors in Ohio say they'll decide within a few weeks if they're going to seek to retry Ray Tenzing, a former University of Cincinnati police officer charged in the fatal shooting of a black man. The jurors in his trial could not reach a verdict. The Bataclan Theater in Paris, center of last year's deadly attacks in that city, reopening tonight with a concert by Sting. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
Well, EG Tax is open all year, and we do more than taxes. We do payroll, bookkeeping, budgeting, retirement planning, corporate business setup, offer and compromises, and we even have a New York health navigator on staff. EG Tax was thinking of offering oil changes on cars, but then we thought we better just stick to what we do best. So for taxes and much, much more, call 632-7886 or click EG Tax today. Come join our family.
When Esther updated her kitchen and bathroom, she chose the Granite Shop. They were reasonable, professional, and best of all, they were done in less than 2 weeks. Can't ask for anything more. The Granite Shop offers countertops in granite, quartz, and marble. Call 402-1046 or online at graniteshop1.com. Their showroom is located at 2045 Niagara Falls Boulevard in Niagara Falls, New York. When you call or visit, mention EG Tax and your sink cutout is free. Call the Granite Shop today, 402-1046.
I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, in studio with Abby Gwynn. If you are looking for some help with your finances, if you're looking for retirement planning, this is the place. We got all the information that you might know. We were talking to Don before the break, and he was talking about his health insurance, and he waited online for us. Hey, Don, how are you? Thanks for waiting.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, so let me.
Yeah, we did, when we hit 65, we did go down to the Social Security and sign up for fee, is it?
All right, so what I'm curious about, and Abby and I were talking about this, is why would you retain such an expensive health insurance policy when you can get a Medigap policy for a couple $100 a month?
I don't know. Our policy, the retirement, I retired under the federal government, and we have independent health, and this year went up to $21,000 for the total one of the cost. But out of our pocket, $778, I think. But
why would you keep it, Don?
That's what I'm wondering.
See, because I would tell you, you can call Blue Cross Blue Shield, you can call Independent Health, and they have what's called a Medigap policy. So you have your Medicare, which is covering Part B, your hospitalization. Then you can do A if you want through your Social Security. Then you get a Medigap policy, which is basically going to come alongside of your Medicare and pay for a lot of the other expenses. It would seem to me that the Medigap policy would be $200 or $300 a month for each of you. Would be $400 total, would be so much less expensive than paying $13,000 a year. And so Abby said, well, maybe it was tax deductible. Even if it's tax deductible, if you're in the 10% tax bracket, after you take away your floor, you're only going to save, if you make $40,000 a year, you're only going to save like $800 in taxes. So what I would recommend, Don, is that you can call us. We have health navigators right on staff. You can call Abby. This is her expertise going over things for retirees. But I will tell you, I would look at that, because maybe you're hanging on to insurance that you really aren't getting the right bang for the buck.
Okay, what is Abby's number?
It's 633-1515. That's the office line.
Okay.
633-1515. We actually have an individual in our office where he works with all the plans in New York State. You can sit down with him. His name is Brian. He actually specializes in the healthcare area, and he can review what you have now.
And we have a healthcare navigator too. So
right, Esther does
and
as
there's
well.
no charge. So, but I will tell you, Don, I just think that sometimes we hang on to something because we've done it for years, but at 65. Like everything kind of changes because you go on Medicare, which becomes your primary. So I think that it would be well worth your time, and certainly it'll be worth your money because you'll save it to look into something else. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Don.
I shall give you a call.
All right. Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
That's time
important.
to reassess coverage.
You know, I mean, if he can save $8,000 a year, that's to me a lot of money.
Yeah, and unless you're under a plan that's provided by your employer. If you're self-employed and you have your own coverage, or if you're getting coverage in retirement, if you're retired, whether you're getting Medicare or not, you need to be shopping those policies and knowing whether or not you've got the right coverage. And I think so many people just assume what I've got is what I've got, and I can't change it, and that's so not true.
Like we just switched as a company from one plan to another because our costs were going up. We compared coverage from another company, and we actually ended up saving about $300 a month as a company and getting better coverage.
It's like car insurance.
Plans.
You got to shop it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Linda from Lockport. Hi, Linda. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi, Esther. I have a question concerning Obamacare with Trump coming in.
Yep.
And if he repeals Obamacare, do you know, would that also affect the New York State Essential Plan?
Okay. So Obamacare really is the law of the land that the federal government had put into place. New York State came alongside. A lot of the states had the opportunity to come alongside and develop the Affordable Care Act like they had planned, and the federal government kicked in to help them, the state of New York and other states, plan for it. New York State, being a blue state, pretty much bought it hook, line, and sinker. So I would assume that if Obamacare is repealed, then so will the New York State of Health, because there would be no federal funding. That would be my assumption. I think, but if I were on the New York State of Health insurance, I would not freak out right now because it's going to take at least, I would think, 2 years before there's any change. Because and one thing I watched Trump on TV said, we're not going to yank it out from everybody. So I would not worry about it, Linda. But I will tell you, I think that certainly New York State would have to modify.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye. And I can imagine that's got to freak people out.
Well, if they're getting rid of the current plans, they're certainly, like you said, they're not going to pull the rug out from under people and leave them uninsured.
That
or
would be
underinsured.
I have been listening to Trump, and he sounds compassionate, like he wants to do better, not worse. And so until they have all the things rolled out, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's like, I know they're going to change the tax code, but I know it's not going to be for at least 2 years. So as that all works out, a lot of stuff is going to change.
Right.
And I hope for the better.
Sure. Yeah, but none of that happens overnight.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
It's way too complicated.
And there's going to be something, I would imagine, in place that's either going to replace it or be comparable for people.
Right, absolutely. And the only thing I heard him say today was that he's going to keep the parts that were good, like the up to age 26 and the people with pre-existing conditions, but he was going to make sure that it was going to be better insurance for less money. And I thought that will be kind of a Houdini thing. So I really am interested.
Well,
I hope it's true.
He's wanting to open up competition with companies across state lines, which if he does that, and you've got companies that can compete better in the space and price plans because they've got more people participating, it could work out. But they're going to have to run all the numbers.
Competition always helps, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, New York State is a prime example of a state that the New York State of Health, they had a lot of plans. But what's happened is a lot of them have dropped out because they just can't do it.
Right.
So here's hoping. All right, let's go to my friend Larry from Georgia. Hey, Larry, how y'all doing?
Esther, your Southern accent is getting better. I'm telling you, girl.
Well, Larry, what can we all do for you, honey child?
Okay, well, Esther, I want to speak to you about my situation also, too, but also maybe you and I have been looking at your crystal ball and kind of get me from your perspective how you think things will change and what specifically will change in terms of
taxes.
And maybe, I'm sorry, Abby, maybe given the changes around the corner, what investments would be prudent for the next maybe year or two?
Well, I will tell you, I mean, on the short term, this year is in stone. 216 in stone, okay, from a tax standpoint. Next year, I think that there's still going to be, they may come up with something to adjust the current tax law, but I will tell you that from everything I can see, the rates are going to go down. And you're going to pay probably thousands of dollars less in taxes, and that is done with an eye to stimulate the economy so that the jobs will come back and that job creators will create jobs. So short term, and I think that we talked about at the beginning of the show, and I can actually throw this up on our website, the 2016 tax policies. We have the Obama and Clinton, of course she's not in the mix anymore, but we had the the Trump plan that they had proposed. So if you go to egtax.com, I'll have it on my website on Monday or Tuesday, and then people can read what's being proposed.
Okay. Abby, do you have any suggestions on investments for the next year, given the change that we're going to see?
Well, I think the areas that he's been focusing are definitely the tax reform, certainly healthcare. I think he's going to be trying to definitely gear things for the economy's growth.
But he was talking about stock, too. Is there
lessening regulations on the healthcare, lessening regulations on, I think, a lot of the commodities, the coal. So if you were listening the hour earlier with the financial guys, they were talking about sectors that people are switching from. They're kind of selling off all the higher positions in the tech stocks, and they're shifting over into some of these commodity-driven companies that are
like
involved
coal.
in mining and coal and natural resources in that direction. So I think that's where things are going.
That's for sure, Larry. If you think about it, when Hillary Clinton said we're going to shut up the coal mines, that doesn't do much for the coal stock.
So now instead of going out of business, they're probably actually hopefully going to do well. And you got people pouring money. What we saw this past week with the stock market, people are pouring money into the financials and the healthcare stocks.
Yeah.
So I think that's an area that if it's deregulated for the banks and the financial companies and deregulated for some of these healthcare companies that are involved with the exchanges, you're going to see some great opportunities there.
Okay, Larry?
Guys, thank you so much.
All right, Larry. Have a good day.
Thanks, Larry.
Bye-bye. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on the cell phone. I have Abby Gwynn, the financial guy from the Financial Guys.
Gal.
The financial gal.
I feel like I need an accent now, Esther.
Because of Larry. Yeah.
I'm the financial gal with the financial
guys. That's right. And we're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side.
Looking to redo your kitchen or bathroom countertops without spending a fortune? Well, look no further. The Granite Shop has it all. Granite, quartz, and marble, with prices starting as low as $39.99. Mention EG Tax, and your sink cutout is free. Their showroom is located at 2045 Niagara Falls Boulevard in Niagara Falls, New York. Call the Granite Shop, 402-1046, or visit online at graniteshop1.com. That's 402-1046 for the Granite Shop.
Hi, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
Did you know that the IRS has already announced that they are delaying some refunds, at least until February 15, 2017? Were you counting on that refund? Let's tax plan now for the fourth quarter and maybe get more money in your paycheck. That's right. Use your money now instead of waiting for later. EG Tax offers year-round tax planning at no charge, so there's no hidden surprises for you come tax time. So this year, come join our family. Call 632-7886 or click egtax.com.
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
From my day, not yours, Abby. Abby's a young woman, but I was originally from Detroit, so
that's music you can dance to.
Oh,
though.
I'm telling
Great
you,
lyrics,
all that kind of stuff. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, and I have Abby Gwynn here. She's the financial gal from the Financial Guys.
There we go.
All right, is that better? Give us a call, 803-0930, 803-0930. We thought we'd talk about pensions, but I guess we haven't had a chance. Let's go back to the phones. We've had Dave, who's been holding for so long. Hi, Dave. How can we help you?
Yeah, I got grayer in the meantime.
I'm telling you. What can we help you with, Dave?
I'm calling actually about my brother. My brother, he's very stubborn. He's on Social Security disability. Been on it forever. He's divorced, don't pay no alimony, no child support, no nothing. He's single. He lives in a small apartment, and he don't file income tax.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure if he should be. Is he entitled to any money? Because he's persistent since he has no income. He has no reason to file income tax.
All right. The truth of the matter is, if you don't have taxable income, then he's not required to file. Okay? And there is a standard deduction and personal exemption. Until you get to that amount of taxable income, you don't pay any tax liability, and so therefore you don't have to file. Now, some people end up getting refunds based upon the fact that even though they're low income and they don't have to file, they would qualify for an earned income credit. But they need earnings in order to get the earned income credit. In this situation, your brother has no earned income, no taxable income, so there's nothing for him to do. The only thing that he possibly would get would be the renter's rebate on the state of New York. So that would be a small credit, a refundable credit on New York State, and it's called the IT-214. So if, Dave, you wanted to have your brother give us a jingle, we can ask him how much his Social Security is and how much his rent is, and we'd be able to figure up if he had a renter's rebate coming back. But that would be the only thing that he would be able to get. Now, if your brother was making, let's say, $5,000 a year as a pizza delivery man, all right, he still wouldn't owe any taxes. He still wouldn't have to file, but he would qualify for the earned income credit, and they would save him. He would get a refund of about $350 from the federal and about $80 or $90 from the state.
Okay, on the renters thing, is it worth it to do it? I know for every nickel it's worth it to do it, but
oh my, I mean, if it's $100, I would like $100.
Oh, so would I. You're right.
So just have him call us, and we can actually do it over the phone. Is he ambulatory?
He has a speech impediment, so it's hard to understand him.
Okay.
Well, I or my other brother would come in, but yeah, because like he's 59 years.
I mean, because we can just do it over the phone for him. It's a simple form, and we can tell him right over the phone whether or not he qualifies.
Okay, because he has a speech impediment, it's very difficult to understand him.
Well, maybe when you're with him, sit with him and give us a call.
I will do that. Thank you.
All right, Dave. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we are going to Elaine. Hey, Elaine, this is Esther. How can I help you?
Hi, my question is about state and federal refund checks. Is that taxable income so that I'd be paying tax twice on that?
Okay, yes and no. On the federal, if you're getting a refund, your refund on the federal return is tax-free. Okay, it's not going to be taxable. Your refund on New York State may be taxable if you itemized your deductions on Schedule A and you got a refund and you had state taxes on your Schedule A and you get a refund on New York State, then whatever the benefit you received on the federal return for your New York State refund, that portion is taxable to the federal.
Wow.
I got lost there. Could you say that again? I don't think I followed that.
All right,
and I do money.
All right, let's say that you paid into New York State $1,000, okay? And on your Schedule A, you take $1,000 deduction. Then you go over, so you take that $1,000, you go over to New York State, and you find out that really you're getting a $500 refund. So in essence, you should have only taken up the $500 deduction.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and so if there were no credits, and that's what we're talking simple math, then that, and you itemized, then that $500 would be taxable in the year you receive the refund, which would be the next year, and it would be taxable income. You got that, Dolores?
Elaine.
Or Elaine?
Well, that means that you really do get taxed twice then.
No, you don't. So, again, let's say you had state withholding of $1,000. On your Schedule A, you list $1,000. So on the federal return, you got $1,000 deduction of income of state taxes that you paid in because you're an employee, for instance. Then you go over and do your state return, and you find out you're getting a refund of $500. Well, technically, you should not have taken the $1,000 deduction. You should have only taken $500. But since you're a cash basis taxpayer, in the year you received the benefit, that $500 back, that's the year it'd be taxable. So it's not double taxation.
Okay. All right.
I know it sounds like mumbo jumbo, but it sounds good to me. It makes sense to me.
The bottom line is no.
Yeah, it's not. It's not double taxation.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye. Okay, and now we have Dolores. Hey, Dolores, how can we help you?
Well, if I may say something.
You certainly may.
Trump, President-elect, said at his concession speech, I will need your help. He said this to all Americans. Now, I can do an objective analysis and draw a conclusion, but it is within each of the industries to do a subjective, particular assessment and conclusion. And I am hoping that, be it in the financial or the tax arena, that we meet in small groups and that we conclude what is the best for our country, for the individuals that we deal with, because we have a particular difference in terms of the citizenry, be it New York State or any other state, and we may have to notify any of the federal government or the state government or our local what's going on, and is it possible that we could consider a unification among each of the different groups?
Dolores, hang on, Dolores. What are you saying?
Well, I
mean, put this into
Are you
language.
saying that you want Trump to do like town halls before he makes changes?
No, we have to get together because we
Who's we?
advise our...
Wait, who's we?
Pardon?
Who's we?
You, I.
You're like you want to come over to my house? I mean, get together how? Where?
You have people that are involved in taxation,
right?
Your own group,
right?
So does Abby, the financial.
Yep.
So what do we recommend to the federal government precisely relative to each of the fields?
Okay, so you're saying that we should suggest and send our recommendations into the federal government, so when they're making changes, these would be changes that come from the bottom up.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
We need to do a...
Well, I mean, that's what you hope. That's what you hope. Like, for instance, Chris Collins is on the Trump... and Chris Collins is right in our backyard. You know, he's on the Trump advisory
committee.
For him rolling out his cabinet and everything. So you would hope that there would be people that have been elected by us that would want to get that kind of input before they'd make suggestions. But I will tell you, Dolores, I think if I call Trump tomorrow and say, gee, I'm a tax expert and I got a lot of input, I don't know that he'd take my call. And I don't know that, I don't even know. I mean, it may be a great idea, but somebody has to spearhead it to make it effective.
Well, each of you is an expert in your field. I call Chris Collins, the county, the state, the federal government, all of them all of the time, and I'm only one person.
Well, good.
And I'm hoping that you are...
Well, I mean, I'll give you an example. Starting December the 1st, there's a change in minimum wage for salaried workers, where all salaried workers have to fit into one of three categories, and they must now get $913 a week, or else they have to get time and a half for the $913 a week. And so, in effect, it was like a 50% increase. And so that's very... It's making people crazy, businesses crazy, because they don't know whether to move people who are on salary to an hourly rate. And I thought that was a stroke of a pen by Obama in January. And I just asked Mike and Glenn as they were leaving the studio before the show if we could get a hold of Chris Collins, because I was wondering, is this going to be a real change or not? And I really don't know. Unfortunately, we are little Indians out here, and you do the very best you can. But it's a great suggestion, but I don't know how to implement it, Dolores.
And Abby, may I tell you something?
Yeah.
We are the bosses. We need to advise them, and I am certain if each and every one of us within our field of expertise gives this information out, we will speak to Congress. And if not, we can have term limits by voting the wrong people out next time.
That's true.
And I think that's the strongest way that you're going to speak as a person in New York State.
You would be called
is the vote.
Well, I think I'll give Chris Collins a call on Monday, and I'll let you know, Dolores, next week what he says, okay?
Well, he's very accommodating, by the way, and listens to what we have to say.
That's great.
So put it together.
We will do it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dolores. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We got Abby Gwynn here, the financial gal from the Financial Guys. And we wanted, while we have the last 3 minutes, we wanted to talk about pensions. And this is going to be impossible to cover because I got so much stuff. But Abby, we were talking about people don't understand what an elective deferral is.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It's just simply you putting money away for yourself for retirement. And I always say, look, it's still your money. It's just in a different pocket in your jeans. Instead of it being in your bank account, it's over there in your employer's 401k or 403b. That's still your plan. It has your name on it. When you leave the company or retire, that money comes with you. And hopefully that at that point, we don't know what's going to happen with taxes, but hopefully at that point in time, you're paying at a smaller tax bracket and you can pull the money out and pay less to the government that you would have while you're working.
And the beautiful thing is, this is how I look at it. I mean, it's not just when I take it out, but while I'm alive, right? I mean, hopefully I'll be alive when I start withdrawing. But the whole thing is you getting the tax benefit now. So, again, if you put in $10,000 on an elective deferral between now and January, and you're in the 33% bracket, it's 25% New York State, 25% federal, 8% New York State, you save $3,300. Not $3,300 in the future. You save it right now in 2016.
Yeah.
And so if you need help during the week, you can call me at EG Tax. You can visit us on our website at egtax.com. You need Abby? She's at 633-1515. Thanks for listening. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. Have a great week.